And testing, 1, 2, 3. Oops, I've just tripped over something. Right, it's this bloody Flesh Eater Courts players trying to trip me up already. So we've got on the stream today the boys from the south of England called the Bruce Hammer Boys, who you may have heard referred to a few times before. And they're playing a couple of lads from Herefordshire out west. So yeah, all them southerners are having a bit of a ding-dong on the field. I guess we need to thank our dudes that do stuff for us. So thanks to those dudes that do stuff for us. The Patreon people who give us loads of money so we can buy cameras for Air Norway to smash up. And then also the fine people on Patreon. No, we've got to thank those. The fine people that subscribe on Twitch, etc., including the lovely Mrs. Scrivo, who's prepping the torture gear for later, I believe. So that's grand. Cool. So have a good night later, Scrivo. Thanks, mate. Talking about torture gear, we've got the teams that we're watching this day of days. There we go. Handshake. Including, oh man, water bottle. What's that? Yeah, there we go. That's better. Skull. Skull. Right, so we got the lads from Hereford. They've brought the lovely combination that is Slanesh, double keeper list, and a Flesh Eater Court list with a Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, yeah, and an Arc Regent and a blob of ghouls, and then playing against the new Ogre Moor tribes. So we've got a heavily Gutbuster list. With a Slaughtermaster and a unit of Lead Bulchers and a unit of Gluttons and a couple of units, another unit of Lead Bulchers there and a Tyrant, and his partner's got a Frostlord on Stonehorn, a couple of units of Mournfang and some Man-Eaters, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's going to be loads of depravity for the Slanesh player to play around with. And we're playing the places of arcane power as well. So all about the heroes. So at the get-go, you would say heavily in favor of the Slanesh and Flesh Eater Court army. Although they are very small armies when they start off. So the Ogres, I reckon I'm going to have to try and make the first few turns count, and maybe knock them back hard enough early on so that it doesn't matter what happens in the late game. But one Ogre player is just using his head on the table. That's fine, no props. So, got some spells starting. First spell failed. Here we got a Mystic Shield going off. And Arc Regent's gonna try and stop that, which he stopped with an 11. So magic has failed for the Ogors. So that's all of their heroic stuff done, but they're not here for the heroics. They're here to take them gold. So. Thing is, do they go onto the center ground? And then if they go onto the center ground, they're just exposing themselves to the counter. So the only way you can move forward is if you can screen your heroes out, because obviously the the 4 heroes that your opposing team has got, the Slanesh and the Flesh Eater Courts, 3 of them are pretty tasty. The Arc Regent's all right. He's sat on his throne thing to get that summoning off. So you've got to make sure your stuff is screened out so that you it's all well and good taking that. You see they've decided to put the Frost Lord onto that center objective, so he's likely to be facing a Terrorgeist. Ogre players just rolled a 6. He's ever so happy, ever so excitable about rolling a 6. So that's grand. So he's going to whack his tyrant straight over there. So now, can he screen him out? Because he's facing off against a keeper. The lad in the centre's also got a keeper, and whatever goes on to the final objective, what I'm looking at is the bottom. I don't know what you're looking at. There's a Terrorgeist that could effectively get stuck in there, so the counter charge is horrendous, really scary. So you're putting yourself out there. What the fuck is going to happen? Nobody knows. Well, we do know, because keepers and Terrorgeists really hurt. So, trying to screen out using some lead belchers.
Movement 6. So basically, there's only 3 models in our army, really.
Nah, should do anything. These Warfang run 6, they can go 17 if they want.
Yeah, so it's just the Ogre army. It's just moving up into the center. Is it a good idea? That is just the charge zone. But then, if you move into an area which is not an objective, then are you safe? Because in effect, the Flesh Eater Court army and the Slaanesh army has only really got 3 real fighter units. Fair enough, the ghouls and the demonettes are not slouches in a fight, but they're not real attacking pieces. So we'll see what happens. So you guys feeling cocky?
He is, mate.
He is.
What
Yeah.
do you mean I am now? He's been
Trying to figure out if we can kill all of that in one go.
So he reckons they're trying to figure out, they're discussing amongst themselves whether the Terrorgeist can kill the Gluttons and the Frost Lord in one round of combat. Bearing in mind that he can pile in and attack twice, so yeah. So yeah, these the psyching out from both sides is amazing. They're telling each other how good the Frost Lord is at fighting against Terrorgeists. He's ferocious. He's gonna smash him off the board. That's great. So we've got 2 points for the for the Bruces. The Bruces score 2 points, and we move into the gentleman from Herefordshire. And we have so we see a Mystic Shield going onto the keeper. Spectral Host cast on a 7 and stopped by the Slaughtermaster. But he gets off the D3 extra. Yeah. So using the nullification. So getting 1 extra attack. And we see Geminids attempted and failed. And gets the 5-up ignore spell off. The Ogre player is not very happy about that one, apparently. So the Terrorgeist has got 1 extra attack and a 5-up ignore. And moving up to see whether he can do the double that they were discussing. Can he take out 4 Gluttons and a Stonehorn in 1 round of combat? That's his experiment for the day, apparently. Ghouls are running up to support or to protect that flank from the potential Mournfang charge. Well, you see that keeper up at the top moved up to threaten the tyrant, the lead vultures. So combat's been closed already, isn't it? Yeah. How are you feeling, Bruce?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think they got it. I think they're gonna roll rubbish dice, and
Yeah.
that's it. Game over.
So what have we got here? Just 1 lead vulture and some.
No, he's not
Gluttons?
Lead Belcher. This is my captain.
Yeah.
The Lead Belcher's his bodyguard,
Oh, okay.
and these are just normal gluttons.
They're a glutton for punishment.
just
Unit.
glutton
Yeah,
punishment. They're going to take it. They're going to take it. He's like,
So
"March
it's
forward, boys."
a unit of 12 gluttons there. Oh.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to stand up to Slanesh God, though, are they?
A Slanesh keeper of secrets.
Yeah.
What secret is he keeping, we wonder? He knows something. Is he going to tell us what it is or not, I wonder? So we're going to see the Terrorgeist having a scream at the Frostlord. So who knows what the bravery of a Frostlord is? Something you're not normally having to wonder about. No? I'd guess 8. Bruce? You go 9. All right. Somebody says 6. The Flesh Eater Court player hopefully throws a 3 on the table. Bravery 9. There we go. Somebody's good with the numbers. So the scream. He's too brave to be screamed at. Too brave. So that's enough for shooting. Let's have charges. 11. A big charge from the Terrorgeist. An 11. And then the other keeper going in, she gets a 7-inch charge. So this is closer. And there we go, he's in.
Locust on the unit Gluttons. Locust on the Stonehorn.
Fails the locust cast on the Stonehorn. Woo! Interesting. But the Gluttons have been... Gluttons have been locust. The big unit of 12 have been locust, but the Stonehorn and the other unit of... Oh, those are iron guts. Are these iron guts down here? Yeah, yeah. So that Terrorgeist and that keeper in the center have got to face a unit of iron guts and a Frostlord. So Terrorgeist is going first. So so bites into the Frostlord and the rest of the attacks into the Iron Guts. No sixes rolled, so 2 hits. 2 at -2. Which have both been saved. The Frostlords, the bites of the Terrorgeist just bouncing off of that Frostlord. Now, what can he do to the Iron Guts? So that's really affected that combat, because four at -1 on the Iron Guts. Which he saves none of them. Killing one of the Iron Guts. These are the claws. Shame, shame. A good ribbing, but still not able to roll any 5-ups. So, oh my word. But the D3 damage, only 3 damage, but enough to take down another Iron Gut. So he's going to pile in, have another bash. So now the quandary is, do they put all of their attacks into the Stonehorn or splitting? So everything into the Stonehorn. So he's taken nothing so far. Still no 6s. All of them miss. Still no 6s. Only 1 hit out of... So that Jaws... The Jaws again doing nothing with a brilliant save. He's only rolled 5-ups to save. The Ogres are bouncing off each other's bellies. This is the Rider. 3 at -1. Oh, already some dice have been retired from the game. Is he a superstitious fella or what? What happens out west in the countryside? Oh, he saved all of those. The claws, 3 hits. Only 1 again. I don't know what dice he's changed it for 2 damage, 5-ups. So finally the Stonehorn takes some damage. Taking 2 damage. That was so much for the terrifying Terrorgeist doing naff all. All it's killed is a couple of Iron Guts, put 2 wounds onto the Stonehorn, which is not what anybody's seen. So now... So that was the Always Strikes First. So now... So, so he's fired up the Stonehorn and he's put in all of the attacks into the keeper. His dice are on fire. Three spear attacks going through.
Two go through.
3 damage each.
Three, so taking 6.
Oh, is that right?
6 depravity, 6 wounds.
Wound on 3s.
Oh, failing with the horns. Oh no, that was the trampling feet. So onto the horns now. Again, not really doing the business. 3 through though, -2. So looking for some 6s. Saves 1. So now we're down to crushing hooves. So that was 2 crushing hooves. So the other one was the punches and kicks. Oh, he's missed with both of those. So that was that. Stonehorn not killing the keeper, leaving him on 2 wounds. So
Basically, I'm going to do my silver slash, which
That's-
has got 3 inch.
the center, nobody performing like they should. So depravity, he took 12 damage, so it would be 12 points of depravity. And here we see the other keeper. So the Tyrant taking 15 damage.
15, 6 up.
But he stood next to a mystical thing. Is it going to help him?
1, 2. That's 7. You're still alive. I need 5 6s, gentlemen. You can do it.
5 6s.
Oh. Tyrant slaughtered by the Keeper of Secrets. Which, and then the rest of his attacks all fail, but he got the rerolls into the gluttons. And then, so the keeper also killing 2 gluttons, wounding another one. So there we go. So back onto this, we've got a couple of iron gots. There go the iron guts into the Terrorgeist now. Only 2 saves going through. So 6 of his 5-up ignores to find, and he gets 2 of those. So taking 4 wounds on that Terrorgeist. So the Iron Guts, two Iron Guts doing 4 wounds. The 5-up ignore is always useful on those fellas. Keeper of Secrets is going into the Frost Lord now. Central Keeper into the Frost Lord. Gets extra attack. One save at -2. Failed. So total of 4 damage. Got his 5 up ignores from his skeleton. So only takes 2 damage there. That Frost Lord is really tanking this. So 2 more war wounds, 1 save at -1, saved. 2 mortals onto the stone skeleton, fails both of those. So So 7 wounds remaining on that Frost Lord. So he's got to decide who's going to go in twice. Is it going to be the Gluttons? So these Gluttons. So we got 3 Gluttons have got into that keeper. On 28 depravity so far to the Slanesh player. His smile is massive. He's having a great time. It's crazy. 28 depravity. So, yeah. I mean, he is fighting the perfect army to get depravity, really. Ogre army. So, yeah. Wow. That was a shocker. These are the Gluttons into the lad. Gonna just give him more depravity. 6. So Glutton's put in 6 saves for the keeper to make. I don't think he's that bothered, really. I mean, obviously he wants to hold that objective, but he's just building up stacks of depravity. Taking 3 damage, another 3 depravity. So you're on 31 now. Oh my word. Ah, so bad. Wow. Hey, he's piling in and attacking with that fella. And then taking off. Ends up taking off 5 more ogres. And then some more wound saves. Another 15 points of depravity. It's just crazy. So now on to 46 depravity. Got to be happy about
That's nuts, isn't it? Nuts, mate.
that. Yeah, nuts. But
He called it earlier. He said he's going to play us.
the Ogre players are not very impressed by the amount of depravity they've generated. But there you go. Here we go. Priority roll. That it's combined combined priority roll, winning 10-8. Slanesh fleshy to courts. So piling straight in. So what are the scores? So at the moment the scores are 2 to the Ogres, to the Bruces, and 1 point to Herefordshire Wargaming. But they've won priority, so Frostlord healing 3 from the end of the previous combat phase as well, which is pretty sweet. And you've healed?
3 as well.
And the Terrorgeist healing 3 as well. And the keeper rolling a double 1 to try and heal herself or itself with the thing. Arc Regent. Fails to cast Feeding Frenzy from the Arc Regent. So Slanesh spell, he gets it off but doesn't do any damage to the Gluttons. And we see, what spell's this?
Chalice.
Oh, the Chalice being cast. 8, so it goes off. So got Chalice being cast. I mean, the Chalice works off number of models. Number of wounds. Okay. So there we go. So he's plopping that Chalice down next to the Terrorgeist. Do some more healing. And then casting Monstrous Vigor, which fails to cast. So, not got the 5 up. So if that Frostlord can survive this round of combat, and those Iron Guts, yeah, it's going to hurt.
Moving, yeah?
And into movement now. So the Demonette's running up to the center. Do you want to say it on the microphone? Ghoul's running up to screen out the Mournfangs. The Slanesh player is very concerned that he's got room to summon all of those thousands of units that he's saved. How many points you got now?
I'm on 46 at the moment.
46 points from one turn. From half a turn, really, because I mean, didn't earn any depravity in the Ogre player's turn. That was all in his own turn. It's just nuts. Yeah. It's 46 depravity. Oh, man.
Get smashed in the FAQ as well. 100%.
They're going to get smashed in the FAQ.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
There we go. Heard from the mouth of a keeper of secrets. That's the secret he's been keeping. Wait for the FAQ. I mean, if the Slanesh player is hoping they get nerfed, that says a thing or two. Never mind. So the Regent has moved forward. summoning a Vargeist. Is this Vargeist?
Yeah, that came on last turn.
Yeah, that came on last turns, moved up to take this objective, screened out by 3 flayers, they are. Them winged fellas. Yeah, they'll do a bit of screaming and shouting in a bit. And we see another keeper pitching up on the board. That's really nicely done, that model, actually. Very nice. Yeah. I like that. He seems to think he had a Slanesh army before they dropped the first book. Yeah. Yeah, they were pretty good actually before the book. They were winning tournaments. In fact, when that box set came out, the Khorne and Slanesh box set, that was great. And then they got a book, and then they just went over the top a little bit.
I think they were stronger before, but the summoning mechanics made it.
Yeah.
If they had that summoning mechanic before, they'd be unbeatable. It was nuts.
Yeah, it's all about the summoning, really. The Loci is really good, but it's the summoning. I mean, it's crazy at the moment.
Probably change it to a Locust on a 4-up for the Greater Demons. I can imagine they will.
Yeah, well, it's not far away now, January. We'll see what happens, if anything, really. So, yeah. So, there we go. We got some screams going into the Mournfang. One Iron Gut going down, and a couple of wounds onto one of the Mournfang. So, and then nourishment arriving at the table. The Ogres, very generous, reciprocating. Reciprocating. Failing a charge from the summoned keeper, but the flayers going into the Mournfang. But using command point reroll to get the so still remaining with 16 depravity points after buying himself a whole new Keeper of Secrets. That's crazy. It's just, I mean, it's too many points to spend all at one time. So you're building up points on the chalice. So far up to 7. So when are they used?
End of the turn.
At the end of the Flesh Eater Court's turn, he'll be able to put those into heals onto surrounding models. This time the Locust in the center. But still fails one Locust onto the Cauldron Wizard, who's within range, but not within range to pile in anyway. So now they've got plenty of decisions to make. Who's going first? Terrorgeist. No? Flayers attacking first into the Mournfang. Interesting that the Flayer's attacking. No, there's A6. Hitting on 4s, 6 is doing the mortal wounds. Wow, that was a terrible roll. Wow. The Flayers really not performing there. 2 saves on the... Save them both. You... And, in fact, the Flayers not doing any damage, but taking a mortal wound from the iron fist thing that those lads have got. So... Oh, they're going to have another bash. No 6s again. And in fact, an equally terrible roll. Wow. But at least it's 4 saves. I mean, last time he took another mortal. So again, the Flayers taking another mortal wound, but this time putting 2 wounds onto the Mornfang. So that combat, spending the command point just to do 2 wounds, and to take 2 wounds. I don't think that went the way of the fleshy courts, what he was hoping. So we've got a Iron Gut going into the Terrorgeist. We've got a bit of psyching going on here. I mean, all they're doing is just giving depravity. So into the Iron Gut, 3 hits. So only a 6-up save, yeah. So Terrorgeist taking 2 wounds, and the Chalice building up to 11. So Terrorgeist only on 3 wounds. Oh, okay. So the Chalice is gonna, I mean, any wounds that you put on the Terrorgeist or waste time is gonna heal them up in a short while from the Chalice, unless you can wipe it out. So I don't know whether the Frost Lord... Then this Lanesh player is having a great time. He just wipes out the rest of the gluttons and builds up a load more depravity. We are on now 31 depravity again. It's like he never spent any at all, and he's got already a spare keeper floating around. You've not brought enough bottles for this game, my friend. He is not. Okay. Cool.
4 wounds.
Whenever he's ready. Oh, okay. Is he going to talk onto that? Yeah, whenever. Cool. So we've got a one of the other honest wargamers, which we are all honest and wargamers thereof. Are going to Tom from the 40k side of things has had a quick wander around the rest of the tournament, which is really festive. Loads of folk in cosplay and shirts off Warhammer and all of that is happening, and he's going to give us a quick rundown on how the rest of the tournament is looking, if there's anything interesting. Meanwhile, the Chalice is built up to, what have we got there? 21 healing points. So this is really going one-sided at the moment. But then, bearing in mind the... so using his 3-inch weapons to go into the thing, missing. Into the
Take a 5 there.
Taking 5 more depravity. On to 36 now. 36, yeah. And then onto the stone. Right, so Wizards piling in. Slaughtermaster hitting 3 times, winning once. Giving the keeper yet another point of depravity. Slaughtermaster using a goblin, gulping bite, having a mouthful of keeper secrets, but which has been saved. In fact, I think the keeper might have enjoyed it. His little nobbler's having a go. Go on, Cross is the best. Oh. Terrorgeist piling into the Stonehorn. Failing to roll 6s. Failing to bite at all. So nothing from the Terrorgeist bites. The Rider absolutely missing with all of his rolling 1s and 2s. The Flesh Eater Court player struggling to hit a barn door. Wow. Not even giving the Stonehorn a chance to make a saving roll. That was the most fearsome Terrorgeist yet again. Yet again. Finally, second round of combat. Getting a damage through. Damage 1. Oh, finally. Taking 1.5 rounds of combat to get some damage through onto a Stonehorn. Here comes the Rider. 2, -1. This is crazy. So it takes 1. Yeah, there we go. It's finally getting some damage through. Takes 2 rounds of combat. To do 2 rounds of combat to do 2 wounds to a Frostlord. The keeper piling in and attacking again.
2 damage, my friend.
Taking 2, saving 1. So the Frostlord has taken 2 rounds of combat from the Terrorgeist, 2 rounds of combat from the keeper, and he's still there, kicking dick. Right, with that, I'm going to pass you over to Tom. He can tell us what's happening over in the rest of Chrimbobo.
That was smooth, Nathan. Thank you. I thought I was coming down here to give Nathan a break, but apparently he's loving it. So that's a good thing to see. So much so that the camera has now fallen over for this now more relaxed version of The Honest Wargamer brings you into the event with your host, Tom Layton, who has played 1 game of Age of Sigmar. So I've got a few stories from the top 4 tables, aside from this one here. I don't know anyone in the room, really. So to avoid me bringing you the stories of has-been washed-up 40k players who are playing this game, I would recommend that you give me extra inspiration in the chat for me to have a look at and bring you excellent tales. First of all, we have, on table 2, we have Mr. Crow and Zach Foot, and they're playing against Rich Trev Arnold and Pirate Pete. On table 3, we have Ewan Hogg and JJ Cropley against Sharky and Admiral Pete, who are engaged in an interesting battle between men dressed as knights and topless men dressed as fire slayers, playing trumpets and blowing bubbles. On table 4, we have the Thompsons, Aiden and Nick Thompson, and they're playing against Daniel Hughes and Sophie Smith. More updates to come on that story. And on table 5, we have Jonathan Keithley and Will Haley up against Alex Bruce and Andrew Hughes. Unfortunately for Jonathan and Will, it has not been an excellent, happy story for their square coppers, bouncing around like toddlers at preschool on their little, I don't know what to call them, but they're having fun. They have failed 3-inch charges with their square coppers into the skeletons 2 turns in a row, which has provided a very disappointing experience for them, albeit elation for Mr. Bruce, whose dad manages Newcastle, perhaps unconfirmed, and sacked off Sheffield Wednesday in very disappointing form, and Andrew Hughes. But more updates to come. Please provide me with inspiration, otherwise you will get many, many updates from Gary Percival and Trev and nothing else. Back to the game, Nathan.
So here we see the Frost Lord. Welcome back. Thank you to everybody from Patreon and everywhere. And the Frost Lord takes the Terrorgeist down to 1 wound. But leaving the Terrorgeist on 1 wound is a real sucker, because the Chalice is sat there with 30 heals.
At the end of the turn, the chalice goes off, and I'm going to do it all again. So I roll 30 dice every 4 I heal one.
So he's going to roll 30 dice.
That's how many wounds that one got there.
He's going to roll 30 dice, and on 4-ups, he's going to put heals.
15 here.
So 7 from the first 15. Back to full health. So the Chalice, after all that hard work the Stonehorn put in, the Terrorgeist is back up to full health. That's a great question. So that was the end of the... So this being the end of turn 2 for Team Herefordshire, and the start of Brucehammer turn 2. The Team Herefordshire have scored 3 points now. In total. Oh, yeah. In total, with the Brucehammer being on 2 from the first turn, and moving into their turn 2. Everwinter doing 3 mortal wounds onto Terrorgeist, but he saves 2 of those. So he takes a wound, and the Chalice starts ticking back up. So the Chalice is an absolute nightmare. So Butcher casting the -1 to hit spell onto their 8, but really stopped by the Regent, and then putting extra rend onto the Terrorgeist on an 8. This time not stopped, so now the Terrorgeist only having a 5-up armor save. So I think they're hoping the Terrorgeist goes down this turn. But they've still got... And it's 1 mortal wound onto the Terrorgeist. So he takes another one. So yeah, we've got a unit of Mournfang lurking there. Obviously, the Stonehorn, if he can survive, because more than likely the Stonehorn will be Locust. So again, he'd have to survive the rounds of combat from the Terrorgeist and the Keeper, and then finally get to fight. The Stonehorn has actually only taken 5 wounds, so he's on 8 wounds. Draining the pot to heal his units, so healing his Slaughtermaster and
So he's going to heal D3. 3.
healing. Oh, the Stonehorn has healed back up to only taken 2 wounds, so 11 wounds left there. And healing up the other Mournfang, back healing 2 more onto that. So Slaughtermaster running around to shield the flank of the. So Slaughtermaster running around to shield the flank of the Stonehorn. Because although that Summon Keeper is actually on a smaller base than he should be, they're just, but they're aware of that. They're playing to the bigger base. So the rear of that Stonehorn is well protected. We've actually got a unit of Lead Vultures and Man-Eaters at the back. And what's the movement? Okay, so Man-Eaters can run and charge. So going up 9 inches, leaving them with about a 7-inch charge into those flayers. Lead Vultures moving up as well. So this is the Ogre counter. Yeah, Ogre players are pretty much relying on a double turn here. It's the only way that they can build up some points and try and knock a bit of the stuffing out of these armies. I mean, that Slaanesh army is just having a field day against the Ogres. It's just crazy how much depravity they've... So swapping the keepers around, just so we've got to make sure it's got the right size bases. In any fights that really matter, the other keeper is going to have to stop on that objective just to maintain control of it. So it doesn't matter what size base it's got. So we've got a 10-inch. 10. So rolling a nice big charge, 10. Looking for 6s to do some more wounds on the charge. Not rolling any on 10 dice. No, that's the end of the charge phase. The still charge phase. Man-eaters are charging. Failing that charge. So that's all the ogre charges. So they definitely need this double turn now. and now it means now the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist has activated that item, that famous item that you hardly ever see, that doppelganger cloak, which every fleshy to court wears in the mortal realms, apparently. So yeah.
It's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
It was every turn.
Yeah. So that means the Terrorgeist cannot be targeted this turn until he's been activated. Have we rolled any locust rolls? So locust cast onto the Stonehorn. So that actually helps the Stonehorn because it's forced into the end of the game, because into the end of the combat phase. So he could have actually been phased out of fighting at all, but now because he fights last, he's still going to get to attack the Terrorgeist. So sort of nullified the doppelganger cloak a bit, although it does mean the Terrorgeist gets to fight before the Stonehorn, which is obviously a bonus. The two Mournfang have just absolutely gone to town, killed 2 flayers. That was the riders. These are the 2 Rhinoxes that he's riding, and they put 2 wounds on the last flayer. So flayers are not quite dead, but yeah, somehow they got to deal with this Vargeist, deal with a Terrorgeist and a keeper in the center, and then 2 keepers at the top. This is the keeper in the center. Claws putting 1 wound through from some. Frostlord taking 3 damage from a Keeper of Secrets. Frostlord is proving to be superbly tanky in this matchup, taking all of the attacks from a Ghoul King on Terrorgeist and a Terrorgeist. Now we have the Terrorgeist going into the Stonehorn. So that means the Doppelganger Cloak has run out again. Totally missed with his Jaws. The Rider. Oh no, this is the Jaws totally failing. The Rider. Only two going through. Save them both. This Frostlord is not caring about fighting Terrorgeists, apparently. Taking 2 damage from the claws, saving them both. So Terrorgeist doing nothing. Nothing at all to the Stonehorn. The Stonehorn is a beast. He's just like a tank. Terrorgeist is getting peeved off. He's going again. This is the second turn from the Terrorgeist. Again, the Jaws doing nothing at all. The Rider. The Rider doing nothing either. Again, 2 rounds of combat. And doing nothing. 0 wounds from a Terrorgeist, from a Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. 2 rounds of combat. Now the Stonehorn gets to have a go. But first of all, the 2 Mournfang that charged in with their thing. I think we're going to see us finally a dead Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. It's crazy how much damage that Stonehorn has taken. That's great. Oh. Those are the Mournfang. Looks like we're going to see us a dead Terrorgeist, although they are already dead. It's going to be extra dead. Bearing in mind he's got the extra minus to his save, so these Mournfang wiping out the Terrorgeist. Doing D3, doing 1 damage to the Slanesh Keeper, 2 to the Stonehorn, 1 to the Lead Vulture, and 1 to the Mournfang. And actually, when he died, that was when he did the most amount of damage to the Stonehorn. Took 2 rounds of combat to do nothing, but on his deathbed, managing to do the 2 wounds. So there we go. That's that's crazy. So now the Stonehorn has got a chance to kill himself a Keeper of Secrets. So I mean, if he's going to be just like some sort of superhero. He's taken a Terrorgeist and a Keeper of Secrets to the face in like 4, 5, 6 rounds of combat each, because they're just attacking him twice each time. He's just shrugged it all off. His mates come in and killed the Terrorgeist. He virtually killed the Terrorgeist the turn before, taking down to 1 wound, but the Chalice healing it all the way back up to full health. And yeah. So there we go.
Sweating now.
So that takes the Bruce Hammer score up to 4 points at the end of that turn. So now a very important priority roll. We see It's combined priority roll. 6 versus 3. The Ogres, Bruce Hammer take the priority. Right. Turn 3 now. So here we are, beginning of turn 3. Bruce Hammer have just won the priority. They are controlling. Right. So the Bruce Hammer lads, they're very open about their tactics. Basically, he knows he's got to block out that Keeper of Secrets, that screening in on the side. He's going to retreat with his Frost Lord, but still maintain the control in the center. Because you can't retreat on it to claim it, but once you claim it, you can retreat and still keep control of it. You don't lose control. So he's going to retreat the Frost Lord, maintain control of the center, heal up as best as he can. Then he has also somehow got to deal with the Vargeist in this bottom corner. Or with the Keepers. I think they pretty much decided Slanesh are too much of a problem. They cannot play against the Slanesh player. So just going to concentrate on the Flesh Eater Court and just try and score points until they run out of time or bodies, wounds, whatever. So magic-wise, failed to cast the -1 spell onto the Keeper. And then trying to put a Mystic Shield onto the Frost Lord, which is cast on a 10. Arc Region has a go at stopping it. No, failed. So Mystic Shield onto the tanky Frost Lord. And there's another spell stopped by the Flesh Eater Court. Bearing in mind they've still got a little Arc Regent running around behind the big mushroom in the center. So, yeah. They've still got heroes. You'll have to rotate it that way. Oh. Here we see the screening out. The remaining Lead Vulture, Iron Gut running up to engage in the ghouls. The 2 Mournfang. just deciding that they cannot fight this Slanesh keeper. It's a pointless exercise apparently. So no, not even bothering to shoot at it. They're just using their own models as blockers. Just screen out. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to pass you over to Tom. He's going to give us another update from the floor of the casino.
Thank you, Nathan. Hello. So, table 2, as if you haven't had enough Slanesh on table 1, we have got Slanesh versus a massive troll army going on table 2. The Gits are basically just trolls. So essentially they are the population of our Warhammer competitive on Reddit. They have dropped a large number of trolls in the center of the board, and they have charged one of Richard Trev Arnold's Keepers of Secrets. The Keeper of Secret has died, but Trev still has all of his depravity to summon some more Keepers of Secrets back onto the board. The trolls have lost a large number of trolls in the process, so that one looks like it could potentially be swinging the way of Richard and Pirate Pete against Mr. Crow and Zach Foot, who are looking very dapper in their waistcoats. They look more like they should be outside of the casino, keeping more trolls from entering the building rather than bringing dozens by themselves. Table 3, we have Ewan and JJ against Sharky and Admiral Pete. It looks like there's going to be a large battle in the center of that board with the Overlords and the Fire Slayers taking on the Duardin of a mixed order. So there's a bit of a staring contest going on between a large brick of Fire Slayers and a large brick of Iron Drakes. The Fire Slayers, of course, for Ewan and JJ and Sharky and Pete taking the Duardin there. Table 4, we have the Thompsons versus Daniel and Sophie. They have given me some lines to repeat back to you, specifically for the stream's enjoyment. The Durfu Mangler is dead. There are, quote, big dick moves going on the table. Also, fuck Jazales and modeling for advantage is the actual term I have been given. And that game is Skaven and Beastmen versus Sylvaneth and the Gloomspite Gits. Gloomspite Gits, very popular on the top 5 tables at the minute. On table 5, it looks like that game is coming towards its natural conclusion. The Skeletons, feeling very sorry for the Squigs that had failed 2 3-inch charges in a row, decided that they would give them something back and charge the Squig Manglers themselves. That was pretty much mutually assured destruction. You had 4 or 5 Skeletons left and only 2 or 3 Squig Hoppers remaining. That game is Legion of Blood and Fire Slayers versus Gloomspite Gits and Fire Slayers. And that game looks pretty much over simply because the Vampire Lord and the Gloomspite Gits, and the Fire Slayers even, have run through the Gloomspite Gits and the Fire Slayers. And the Vampire Lord is pretty much unstoppable in the center of the table, surrounded by friendly Fire Slayers. It's important to make that stipulation due to the prevalence of angry orange dwarves with no shirts, not only on the table but above the table as well in these few tables. That game looks pretty much over, so for any requests for games you'd like me to check up on for you and repeat back to the stream, I can go and do that for you. Have a wonderful afternoon. Back to Nathan, please.
Hello. Welcome back. So, yeah, we've seen lots of careful screening from the Ogres here on the top table of Chrimbobo. This being the Ogre round 3. First half of, well, their first turn of battle round 3. And it's just running Ogres into the way to try and keep his Stonehorn alive as long as possible. At the same time, he's got to deal with this Vargeist. He's really struggling to find more heroes. He has got a Slaughtermaster in the center there, and another Cauldron. This is the Ogre pistols shooting. And the flayer takes a wound. And the man-eaters can't shoot because they ran as well, but they can charge. So some big charges here. A 12-inch charge from the iron guy into the ghouls. Getting one mortal wound. 6 up to save it. So another ghoul dying to impact hits from the Mournfang. And we see the man-eaters with their big charge. They've got to get rid of that hero. 5-inch. Yep. Making that charge on a 5. So, start of the combat phase. The man-eaters going into their Vargolf. So here we have the man-eaters into the Vargolf. So 5 saves for the Vargolf to make at -1, saving 2, taking 6 damage. There are 8 wounds though on a Vargolf. He's got a 6-up ignore, which he ignores 1 of, so he's taken 5. Taking 2 more from the bites. So he's on 1 wound left, but he's got his impact hits that he's forgot to roll, so he's got to roll them now. No impact hits, so he's just surviving on 1 wound. Ghouls are going to try and chip away a bit of damage. And it looks like the Charnel Throne wants to get involved as well. So I think that was a bit unfortunate for the Ogres. I think they were kind of hoping those 3 man-eaters would have got rid of the Vargolf, and leaving him on 1 wound. Has got to be a bit desperate, really. Just means he'll probably hit back. They're not bad in a fight. I don't think they've actually left him with room to retreat and still maintain that, but there's a possibility actually. If he does the same trick that the Stonehorn did, dropping back out of that combat, he's going to score the next thing, and then the Ogre team have got to somehow get a hero over here, as well as maintaining the control of the central. The last 2 Mournfang into that last flare. And you can see the Ogres have been very careful not to engage any of the Slanesh. Slanesh team really are revolving. Well, the Slanesh army is really just revolving around its heroes, those keepers, being just being too much for the Ogre army to handle. So they're not even going to engage them, because all it does is just generate depravity. That's just too much, really. The Vargol fighting back, killing a man-eater. Using his command trait, Parlin, his feast day or whatever it is. So piling in and attacking twice, doing.
Oh no, sorry, hitting on 3. This failed.
Cheater!
Stood right next to me, looking at the door.
It's good.
Did they fail battle shot?
Right, so Ogres in the centre, trying to clear out those ghouls. Oh, they're making it hard work for them. Two more ghouls. Rick's busy cosplaying his Iron Gus. 2 at -1.
6 damage!
And that last Iron Gut smashing the last 2 ghouls into a paste.
Good, Sam.
So they got. I mean, the Slanesh player's busy saying, "Why didn't you kill my keeper?" They're like, we're not even going to engage them. So that takes Bruce Hammer up to 7 points. And we're into the Slanesh turn. So casting some spells. Geminids failed to cast.
Start of the hero phase. He's going to dispel that.
And trying to dispel that, which the chalice failed. Oh.
I wanted it over there.
A D6 heal spell cast on a 9. Stopped. And failing, and the Regent has failed to cast another spell. Hysterical Frenzies failed to be cast as well. Mystic Shield, that goes off on a 10. So Team Hereford have got 1 command point each. So yeah, the Vargolf doing the Stonehorn trick and retreating. Also healing the 3 wounds from the previous turn, where he killed some dudes. Or he killed a man-eater. Obviously a very nourishing man-eater, for it has provided vast amounts of healing to that Vargolf. So another unit of Demonettes. Oh no, this is the Arc Regent. He's running across. Making sure he stays outside of 3, otherwise known as a scrotum. Maintaining a scrotum's width away from the enemy at all times until he's ready to engage in full combat. So loads of summoning. We see a couple of fiends coming on. A epitome has appeared out of the ether. No, epitome's gone back into the box. He's some more fiends. He's not brought enough models, to be honest, really. So 2 units of fiends. 18 points each, so that'll take you back down to 2 points. So that's not bad. He's had a keeper, and now 2 units of fiends. 2 units of 3 fiends. There we go. What more can you say? Yeah, so fiends are, here we see a charge. Keeper's gone in. The fiends, as you're saying, for their points value, they're quite expensive. But then when you're paying nothing for them, they're actually quite effective. So, yeah, big charge there. So the fiends have gone into the flank of the Stonehorn, also engaging the last. The Arc Regents decided to hang back a little bit longer, failing that charge. And overgrown. Manages to get the locust off on the big stone horn. So now the stone horn has got to fight a keeper and a unit of fiends. Bearing in mind that he has taken 6 wounds. So keeper going first, claws. Two saves at -1 on this fella.
It's your activation, guys. So
Mournfang are in as well. So the Fiend charge has actually brought the Mournfang in, so he's going to pile in with the Mournfang. Yeah, you're outside of 3. So, 1 Mournfang into the Selenic. He are -1 though. Because Fiends are -1 to hit. Really good. So 1 Mournfang taking out a Fiend. Was he worried? No, because they cost him nothing anyway, so it's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. So he has got a command point if he chooses to activate the Keeper again. These are the Fiends. Interesting. They've to see what they do. They failed with their tails though. I mean, if you roll rubbish dice, it's probably not going to help anyway. So the Fiends, again, the Stonehorn, just brushing the attacks from the Fiends aside, taking nothing. No damage. The Stonehorn has taken 8 damage in so far in this battle. So he's got 6. So activating the Slaughtermaster to try and chip a few wounds away. See if it can knock down the Keeper bracket. So help that Stonehorn. Stonehorn being forced to fight at the end of the battle, the keeper will have another round of combat in a bit. Taking 2 damage, extra 2 depravity. And another from the bite, and then the Noblars yet again saving their best for later. So that worked. It's knocked the keeper down a bump. So keeper going into the Stonehorn now. Reduced now to 4s, but both go through anyway. And then 2s to wound. Down, taking 11 wounds, so he got 3 wounds left, 2 wounds left. Can he survive? This is getting tense now. Whether 2 at -1, saved 1. So 2 to keep him alive.
I got 1 more attack.
So 1 wound left. With 1 attack, this is the little stabby daggy.
Wounds on 3s.
2.
1 more wound straight through, and then 1 save -1.
So now he's got 2 5-up ignores to keep this Stonehorn alive. By 1 wound. So Stonehorn is gone. Everybody was really invested in that. They were like, it's taken that many rounds of combat to get rid of it. Finally they've killed. Finally, the keeper has dragged him down with the aid of the fiends. And that takes the Slanesh depravity up to 8. The last Iron Gut toasting the fiends and taking them off. So yeah. So that takes the Hereford lads up to 8 points now, with the keeper slaying the Stonehorn and taking the central objective. This is the priority roll. The Ogres winning at 10-8. It's a great, exciting roll. It's quite fun actually when they roll a joint priority roll like that. I mean, the Ogres have fought really well in this battle, to be honest. But when you look at the board, the Slanesh are just, well, they're a stronger army than what they started with at this point in time, and they're only getting better as the battle progresses. Whereas the armies that they're playing against are obviously taking casualties through the battle, and it's making them. Well, it's obviously weakening their army, whereas the Slanesh army starts off decent, strong, and just get stronger through the battle. So
And then I'll do Voracious Maw.
we're going to cast a Voracious Maw.
7 plus 1. And cast on a 9. The 9.
The Maw has been stopped. Resorting to an Arcane Bolt. Another wound, another point of depravity. So we're going to cross back over to the fine gentleman that is Tom and his amazing shirt, whatever this is all about. 48k wankers.
Because I don't play any other games, but here I am. So I've been through the tables again. And on table 2, we've had some very interesting developments. Both sides are very deep in conversation. Richard Arnold decided to make the executive decision not to summon any Keepers of Secrets, because he wanted to instead summon 2 Infernal Raptuses to make the game entertaining. As I went past recently on my way over here to inform you all of these fantastic developments, the Keeper of Secrets that was remaining took off the Trog boss. On table 3, the Fire Slayers have tried to charge the Iron Drakes, but unfortunately for the Fire Slayers, there was a squad of 5 Longbeards stood in the way. Fire Slayers hit the Longbeards, and now the Iron Drakes are prepared to shoot the Fire Drakes to bits. Unfortunately, nipples are not good armor. It looks like the Iron Drakes have that game going their way according to themselves. The Knights are very much in position in the Knights versus topless dwarves above the table battle. They are currently picking off the characters and playing the long game and trying to stay alive to win on points in the very end. Table 4, again, both sets of players are in deep conversation, looking to see how they can really take this game by the horns of the Beastmen on the other team. The Giselles are about to go absolutely wild with their shooting, but Team Daniel and Sophie have got a long-term plan to try and win this game at the death. They think it's a big brain plan. They're going to see how it goes, but it looks like it could be quite close and quite interesting, so I'll keep you updated there. Table 5 has indeed ended. That game went the way of the Vampire Lord and the Fire Slayers running through the center of the army. So I've been around the tables to see what else has been going on. Speckles looks like he's on a win, but I couldn't tell whose army was whose in that game because they all look very similar. So instead I looked at the table next to Speckles, which had a Dreadsaurus with googly eyes and a Purple Sun with googly eyes, and Santa on a sleigh covered in Christmas lights. The Dreadsaurus is down to 9 wounds and had a large circle around it like it was trying to do a 3-point turn in the middle of the board. But it looks more like it's just there because people were trying to shoot it off a board and for convenience, rather than because anyone was actually scared of this googly-eyed monstrosity. It's pretty much what's going on. We've got a couple of games that look like they're going to swing quite soon, particularly Table 2 and Table 4. Maybe Table 2 might be a little bit more revved up. Table 3 would be interesting to see how that one pans out too. But until then, I'll throw it back to Nathan and the movement phase. I am incorrect. It's the charge phase already. I'm going to have a wander and see what's going on for myself. Nathan, how's this game going, my friend?
Yeah, so we're busy in the ogre shooting phase. And yay, I don't know what's happened, but everybody's clapping. Half of them don't know what's happened either. But so we just seen a load of ogre shooting, which has taken the keeper down. How many wounds the keeper got left?
It's got 4 left.
Taking the keeper down, 4 wounds remaining. He's about to get charged by
Big one, mate, big one.
by some Mornfang, an Iron Gut, and some lead belchers, I reckon. Everybody's going in there. Takes. So there we go. Keep it down. last Iron Gut. He's running around the place, charged into the Arc Regent. 3 mortal wounds on the charge, 2 damage. Some big rolls on these dice. They're just hammering into their opponents. And they belly flop that Vargeist to death. Bang. So they control this bottom corner now. Another massive charge. So again, loads of impact hits coming here into the Arc Regent. Another 3 mortal wounds. Oh. So putting 5 mortal wounds into that Arc Regent. Leaving it on 2 wounds. So it looks like the Arc Regent is going down. Lead belches. Looks like so the Team Bruce have worked it out. They're that far behind, and where the heroes are placed, they can't really win. Well, they can't even come back to a draw now, because the keeper at the top is that far ahead. But they're going to take a few down with them. I think we're going to see the last of the flesh eaters taken off of the battlefield now. And that's it. So no flesh eaters left. So, but it's fine, because there's still 2,000 points of Slanesh on the table. It's all fine. Hashtag ! /fine. Failed to cast first spell. A Mystic Shield also failed. But it's alright, he not really there to cast spells. He's just there to get depravity points and locust people. That's what it's all about. Spells, they're just a little bonus, a Brucey bonus. So this keeper has got 1 wound only taken. We've got 3 fiends sneaking up into the center. The Ogors did not score that turn, because they need to move to be able to claim a point. So he wasn't able to move because he was locked in combat. And here we go. Here come a few more Slaneshis just to help out. We've got a contorted epitome pitching up. Fiends charging with a 5. Impact hits? No. Well, you want them as well? With double depravity.
Right, this unit down here is going to charge as well, mate.
Demonites charging into the Iron Guts and the thing. Locusing onto the Mournfang.
So I'm going to
Fighting first with the Fiends. All of the attacks going on to the Slaughtermaster.
Hitting on 3s.
These are the tails.
Wounding on 3s. Right, that's 3 at -1 on them. D6 damage.
Taking 8 damage. And there goes a Slaughtermaster. Mournfang in the bottom, yeah. Fighting off some demonettes. We're really just going through the motions now. The Ogres only having 1 hero left and too far away really to be able to compete, especially against armies that they have to get rid of in combat, or well, they have to get rid of combat or shooting, doesn't really matter. But every time they do that, that army just generates points, which give them another army back anyway. So there we go. 2 demonettes left. Mournfang.
He's a beast, eh? That little one guy's been on a killing spree.
Yeah, mate. Go on, kill it. Go.
Don't go too nearest, don't be cheating, son. Cheater!
So I'm going to go. What is I can do it?
Can we get the scores into Johnny at the front?
2 little demonettes trying to fight back.
I'm running to him.
Last Iron Gut. He's been around a bit. He's smashed loads of things. And carrying on smashing. Takes off the demonettes. The Mournfang going into the Fiends.
Thanks, sir.
Fiends taking 1 damage. Two damage.
Got 1 win left on him. Minus anything?
That's it. And there we go. There we see a handshake. There we go. And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much. And we'll see you in a while when we bring you game 3 of Chrimbobo. Bo.